Let's go, gang! Like, I'm just looking at grass. I think the game's trying to send me a message.
I think the game's telling you it's
I think
ass.
you have a problem.
Yeah. In case you couldn't tell from the title, this game, Exiled, is a one-to-one copy of another game that you can buy on Steam, Pilgrim. I wholeheartedly recommend that you go play Pilgrim, because Pilgrim is a really fun and cool game. This game literally took Pilgrim, made zero meaningful gameplay changes, threw it on this shitty-ass platform, and called it their own. Also in typical Roblox fashion, although the game is free to play, the devs monetized the shit out of it. There are a ton of game passes for this game that are actually just pay to win. Like, you can buy a stamina boost, bigger lobbies, you can make your push stronger so your cart moves faster. You can buy Archmage for like $10, which I don't even know what that shit does, but like, you can spend actual money on this game that these devs just blatantly stole, which is insane. Like, I don't know how this platform keeps getting away with devs just actually taking games. Half of the game passes under this rip-off game are actually just as expensive or more expensive than Pilgrim, the real game that came first, that these guys ripped off. How is it fair that these devs are making probably more money off of a concept that they didn't come up with and they just stole from someone else, like blatantly? They didn't even try and hide it. They put inspired by Pilgrim in the fucking description. This shit's not inspired, this is stolen. So the basic premise of Pilgrim, the real game that you can buy on Steam, and you should go buy it because it's fun, is basically you get kicked out of this town and then you have to go put a crystal in your cart to power it, and then you drive the cart around and you try and find more crystals to keep your cart running and try not to die to the various monsters and natural disasters that'll come and try and murder you. If it sounds like Lethal Company, that's because it is. This Pilgrim is actually inspired by Lethal Company. It's like they took the Lethal Company idea, expanded upon it, made it their own thing, and put actual effort and passion into something that they were developing. Now, I bet you will never guess what the premise behind Exiled is. You get kicked out of a town, you get a crystal to power your cart. Then you drive the cart around looking for more crystals to keep your cart running and try not to die to the monsters and natural disasters that are trying to murder you. It is actually the same game, like 1-to-1. There is no difference in gameplay. You do the same shit, except you're built like a Lego. Like, this is criminal. This is a crime. And then you go on their group wall page or whatever, the Dreadworks Studio one, or whoever developed this game, and the people down there are like praising the shit out of this game that they actually just stole. Like, this guy says, "I love the game. It's a bit hard to understand at first, but it's really good. There are lots of different monsters, and the best are the dungeons. Sad that so few people play it. It deserves more attention." No, it doesn't deserve more attention. You know what deserves more attention? Pilgrim! This other guy says, "When this game dies, I die." No, when this game dies, you'll be fine, because there's another version of this game that's just objectively better, because the devs stole the game. So when this game dies, which it should, you should just go play the other better game that came first and is the same thing. Just to be clear, I don't actually blame the people who are playing this game. Like, if they're just on Roblox and they don't go on Steam or whatever, or they're like 8 years old, they're not gonna know that this is actually just not okay and it's stolen property. And even if they do know, they technically still have the right to play the game. The problem is the people who made it are actively stealing somebody else's game, and fucking Roblox isn't taking it down. So they're basically just making money for stolen content. To make matters worse, this game actually looks and plays pretty well. So for one thing, people join the game, see that it looks and plays pretty well, and then they keep playing it, which helps these scumbags make more money. And two, it shows that the scumbags who made the game are not, like, talentless. Like, they can make a game. The models look good, the animations look good. I'm not gonna lie, the AI pathing is kinda dog shit. Basically, every mob I found killed itself in a hole. But I mean, like, they are capable of making a game, but they chose to directly copy something that somebody else made and are now profiting from it and taking players away from that other game because their game is free. Just in case you still don't understand how crazy this problem is, Exiled right now, like at this very moment that I am recording this video, has 2,500 players. Now this game's been out for a while, so I'm assuming on release and on updates, they hit higher peaks. I don't know what those peaks are, so I'm not gonna guess at them, but right now Exiled has 2,500 players. The Pilgrim Steam chart, at the moment of recording this video, shows that Pilgrim has less than 200 players currently in the game, and their all-time peak was less than 1,500. So Exiled has taken Pilgrim, copied it, and is averaging more than 10 times the amount of players. That is crazy. That's like, do you know how much money they are actually just directly stealing out of these more talented and creative developers' pockets with their cash grab ripoff that they put on this fucking Lego platform? Honestly, the saddest part about all of this is this isn't a one-off thing. Like, this has been a problem on the platform for a really long time, and it probably will be for an even longer amount of time into the future. I mean, at this point, whenever I see a game is inspired by another game in its own description, I just assume that it's going to be a one-to-one ripoff copy. Like, Notoriety used to have inspired by Payday 2 in its description, and Notoriety was just Payday 2, but you're a Lego. I mean, Pokemon Brick Bronze, even though they did their own story, they did just kind of take Pokemon. And that game actually got taken down, and Notoriety had to make a deal with the Payday devs. But that's only after people either A, brought attention to it, like with Notoriety, or B, because Pokemon is crazy about their copyright shit, as they have every right to be, and got the game taken down. Roblox will not protect other developers' rights if they are not, like, facing punishment for not doing so. Which is insane. Like, Pilgrim is made by two indie devs, and they got their game basically snaked from under them by these pieces of shit, and now this game Exiled, which is just stolen, is way better off than Pilgrim, even though Pilgrim was the original concept. That is not at all fair. It's an insane problem that needs to be fixed. So I just have one request if you watch this video. Don't play Exiled. I understand not everybody has money to spend on video games, so like, I'm not asking you to go support Pilgrim in any way, but even if you like Exiled, like, the game is a ripoff. Like, you're actively supporting people who ripped off another game, and yet Roblox should be the one that has to do something about it. Like, they should be responsible for taking the game down, but I mean, the chances of that happening are so insanely low, and I'm gonna be honest, I do not think these devs deserve to be making any money or have any follower base after they effectively stole someone else's property. But I mean, that's just my 2 cents. If you watched all the way to the end, I appreciate it. That's all I've got to say. Peace.